focus on me. Y'all ain't strong. Say my name. That's him. Look, still on top. Yeah, it's been that long. They won't know till I say I'm gone. They won't know. They won't know. Say my name.
Hey everyone, welcome to the That Sam Law Show. Today we have an amazing guest. He's a great friend of mine. I know I say everyone's a great friend of mine because they actually are my friends. Isn't that cool? Like, I actually have cool friends. Not everyone can say that. He is a comedian extraordinaire, honestly. One of the hostess with the mostest. I'm going to say everything corny that I possibly can say. His name is Fudge.
Yes.
His real name is John Rickenbacker Jr. It's a mouthful, so I like Fudge way better.
Fudge is easy. It's smoother than Rickenbacker. Sound like you got.
It goes down smooth.
Rickenbacker sound like it's like I don't know, like a concentration. So
it does. You gotta like focus on the words. You gotta like pronounce all the syllables right.
I feel like I need to be in the NBA.
John Rickenbacker Jr. Hey, so I'm going for that three. Oh wow, it was an amazing steal.
It sounds like a position in football, Rickenbacker.
Yo, it does. Or like a play. We're gonna hit him with the Rickenbacker.
Has it over there.
Hey.
Yeah.
Listen, this episode is going to be funny. I already know. I'm already laughing. I know you guys are going to laugh too. But before we get to all the laughs, I really just want to shout out our sponsor, the Bell Law Group. Listen, if you're dealing with anything with employment, labor, or personal injury, please, please, please get in touch with them ASAP. So, Fudge.
Yes.
Tell us who you are.
Well, I am Fudge. Actually, my mom didn't name me that. As you said, my name is John Rickenbacker Jr. I am a son of a preacher and started a church in Amityville, Long Island. And now I've been a comedian and actor for about almost 20 years, almost.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't always good 20 years, but, you know, experience is as long as it takes you to get it right. So it took me a minute. So.
Are we that old?
I don't know. You look pretty spry. I'm starting to get the patch. I'm starting to look.
I got crazy.
Where? All of that brown. You look like in the fall, like you fell out the tree or something.
Listen, I'm ready for the fall. No, I got a couple. They're popping up on me. I was there when you started 20 years ago. I mean, I know I'm a little younger, but I was there. You started with the Elmo and
yeah. I still do.
Past the neck bone, preaching neck bone.
Oh man, that's you going way back. Yeah.
Yeah, I was around. I tell you, I'm old.
Yeah, like those past the neck bone is a throwback. That's actually my first character before I even did stand up. So that was like actually my mom preached at a lot of different churches, so I got to see a lot of pastors. So that was like I just put like a gumbo of different pastors that I used to watch, and then I made this character, and we actually created it at Adventureland.
Wow.
Yeah, and I used
Didn't
to do
you
it.
Work at Adventureland?
Worked at Adventureland.
Yeah, I remember you used to do the video production studio.
Booth, and they gave us microphones.
God.
They gave us live microphones, and that was my stand-up debut.
Holy cow, I can't believe I remembered that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, I'm dating myself, guys. Sorry, I'm 22.
I know.
I'm 22. I was 2 when he started. He was just that funny.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, because that's... Yeah, but I've been doing it, and you know, by the grace of God, I've been having success even at my old age. But I'm still good. I got a lot of good years behind me.
In
front of me. In front of me.
I was about to say, you sound like you 70. You
nah, no, man.
We still leading. We still paving the way. So I know you touched a little bit on how you got started in comedy with like in the church circuit. So what was that like? How did you actually like get your mic out there, really?
Well, I didn't know the difference because I literally, that's all the platform that I had. I was, my family, we had a small church, so they like to do different things. And so we just did different things to entertain people. And we used to go on these retreats in like Saratoga Springs, different upstate New York churches. And we used to just have fun. I used to pretend to be like different pastors and do characters and stuff like that. I didn't think nothing of it. I thought I was just funny around that until I went away to college, Virginia State University, for a year before I flunked out, and went to Nassau Community College. Shout out to Nassau, gave me my associates in theater. Home. And I found out that my comedy translated wherever I went. So that's why I started pursuing stand-up.
So you're just intrinsically funny.
Yeah, it's just like the Rickenbackers, especially like my dad's side. It's just a natural thing. My dad is very OD charming. We always laughed in our household. We always cracked jokes. So that was just something that was natural to me. So I just always just like creating an environment of laughter, and that's all it was. And then once I started doing jokes, it was just like, wow, oh, I can actually do something with this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna go back into the church a little bit, and we're gonna talk about how do you separate your religious comedy from urban and from mainstream. So like a lot of people don't know, urban and mainstream are totally different.
Yeah.
I learned that recently. They're not like you can't easily go from one to the other, but if you can go from one to the other, well, you're Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, pretty much. And really, what you being safe when you saying urban and mainstream is really black and everybody. That's what it is. But really, just where I grew up, Amityville is very diverse. North Amityville, South Amityville. So I was very comfortable with all audiences, and that's just before I even became a comedian. The thing about comedy is people have to like you. It don't matter what you say. Like Kevin Hart and Cat Williams are two different comedians. They can talk about the same topic, but it'd be way different. So it's like people want to really hear your views on things. And growing up, all I knew was church because that's what I found funny, and that's where I spent most of my time because my mom was a pastor. So it wasn't until I got older and took myself out of it and I started finding funny everywhere else. And it was really, honestly, it wasn't until I didn't really have to separate it until I actually moved out of my parents' house and started, becoming a husband, becoming a father, just having to be on my own. Like, so I had to find funny in my own space. So that's what opened it up, and it translates everywhere. I can go anywhere and just have a good time and be funny. So
you feel like your life experience and your culture made you?
Yeah, it's just life experience.
Right.
Like if you go to any comedy club, you go to see a Jewish comic, he talks about being growing up Jewish.
Right.
You go to a LGBTQ show and they'll talk about, their struggles coming out to their parents. It's all life experiences. So I just experienced my life in the church, but it's still life. So like I'm talking from a perspective of a kid who grew up in a household that was a church, but still had to grow up in the real world. So I just talk about how I feel, and that's it.
No, that's true. I actually went to one of your shows recently. Hey everyone, it's your host Sam Law of the That Sam Law Show, and we just want to say thank you to one of our sponsors, Designs by Dr. G, owned by Dr. G. Dr. G, tell us a little bit about your brand.
Hey, thanks Sam. Designs by Dr. G is a lifestyle sustainability brand that features organic and sustainable renewable product. Some products are paraben-free, gluten-free, and just overall, just for good health and for those folks who have allergies or want to use something different.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Dr. G, and thank you for believing in the That Sam Law Show. You invited me out. That show was nuts. It was wild. So long until I got to see you. I can't lie.
Yeah, it was like a comedy marathon. I felt like I was like Billy Crystal and rest in peace, Robin Williams. Like the comedy release.
Like by the time I got home, my boyfriend was like in bed asleep. Like he was not. Like I was like, yo, I was like, okay, but it was worth it when you came out. That Spider-Man joke.
Yeah.
When you talked about the multiverse and you talked about Spider-Man's like inclusive. Like,
yeah.
He's everybody. He's a pig. He's black. He's Hispanic. He's white. You talked about what if there was an LGBTQ Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that was needed. And I hope there is one in the multiverse. We need him. Bring him out, y'all.
Yep.
Marvel, Sony, figure it out.
Yep, somebody told me it's the fabulous Spider-Man. Yeah.
Hey.
You won't break my web.
You won't break my web.
That was the sassy Spider-Man.
Yeah, I liked him. He was a vibe. I was like, give me more of him.
He was swinging and switching. Yeah, he was good.
But like one of the things you just touched on, you also touched on like being in a relationship and being a father. And one of the jokes that you said, it had me weak, was like Elmo. Like like he gets off at work and he's going home to his wife. Like you went into like what his busy day was like at home.
Yeah, because it's like we talk about stuff so many times, like especially because I just know from going on shows, and sometimes I'm going for like hours out of the day, and like me, most comedians, they'll stay. If I'm close enough, I'll come home. If my wife or they can't come with me, because 9 times out of 10 they'll come in. Because my son is 2 years old, so he can't like go physically to some of these shows.
Right.
So they either stay at the hotel or stay home. So I know how I feel when I get home, and like you want to spend that time, but you're tired. So I can imagine somebody. Well, I mean, it's Elmo, but it's funny. But I was just saying, like it was just, I was talking about how guys want to spend time with their women, but it's not that they don't want to. It's just that they tired. So that's all I was saying. And so it went from like Elmo being with his girl, and and so. So it goes through the whole thing where his woman knows how to get to him, so he gets right into performance mode once she starts taking off clothes and stuff. So he gets into performance mode. You want to see Mr. Noodle? Yeah, come here. So that's how. I'm not right, Sam. I feel like I'm not right. I'm talking about LGBTQ Marvel characters and Elmo with his girl. I'm not right, so that's why I was like,
right. But I feel like most of us in the world are like we have all these things thrown at us, and like you gotta laugh.
Yeah,
so like
you
touched on, you like hit like real things that we grew up with, and but you're also like giving a space to real issues, like what it's like being a father. What it might be like being LGBTQ and not being seen in every single atmosphere. Like I thought that was dope. Like I laughed my socks off quite literally. I actually laughed my wig off. Like I went
funny.
back home, my wig was a little crooked. I was like,
that's the best. That's the best laughter. And one thing that I noticed, especially doing this for a while, one thing I made sure of that I wanted Fudge to mean something. That was early on. It means funny, unique, devoted, gentleman, entertainer. But even that, I wanted it to be, when people came to my show, because you go to so many comedy shows, like you see so many different comics, I wanted people to have an experience. So 9 times out of 10, if you saw me twice, and normally comedians work a certain set for months or years, and like you'll go to one show, you see it, and then you go again, you see the same set or the same joke. I try to let the audience dictate where I go as far as my set based off of my audience. And sometimes that's like a no-no with comedy sometimes if you're not improv skilled or savvy. But I just love to create an experience so that it's right for the moment, so you can't be like for instance, that Spider-Man joke, I tried it again. It was funny, but I found different things to it. But that was where I created it, so you got something totally different which you can experience. You'd be like, man, you had to be there. And so it's more an experience. So the Fudge experience is what I'm trying to create, ladies and gentlemen.
And one of the things I think is really cool is you're in the episode of HBO's Crashing, right? And you get to like be yourself. What was that experience like?
Shout out to P. Holmes, ladies and gentlemen. Because I wasn't originally that character was not supposed to be me per se. It was actual person that they wrote. Before, like when you're going through the walkthroughs, usually when you're on set, you go through your lines, walk through. We've gone through the spots, and I literally met Pete for the first time. That's like the first time we're supposed to meet, and that's the actual scene that we're supposed to do. So he was like, well, what's your name? How would you normally introduce yourself? And I said, well, my name is John Rickenbacker Jr., but my comedy name is Fudge. And he was like, Fudge? And I was like, yeah, it means funny, unique, devoted, gentleman, entertainer. So he was like, okay, so you're going to do that on the show. Everybody, Fudge is going to do, he's going to, and I was like, whoa. And so like when you see the clip, it's legit. That's how, like, action. And I'm literally introducing myself to Pete, and that's how we met. And I got to play a person this is on season 3. I'm actually on 2 episodes, and I play myself. Like let me use my name. I'm the comic that he meets on the Christian tour, which is so funny how that actually brought back. So I got to talk about the ministry aspect, and I got to actually contribute in writing the script. So they kind of let me go, like they pulled me to the side and was like, because that's actually what got me on the next episode, because they talked to me and they wanted to know how they were going to write the next thing. And so that we were able to have this conversation with the writers, and we were able to create, like we really go into ministry, but they cut a lot of it, but it was good. So we got to talk about just the ministry aspect of comedy.
That's some experience. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You went in there thinking I'm gonna be this one guy and got to be yourself, got to
my
write,
name was
got
supposed
to
to be
collab. Sandy.
Yeah, I don't look like no Sandy.
You definitely do not look like a SpongeBob character.
No, I look like. No, I'm ready. I was ready though. I was ready to be Sandy. Sandy was gonna be. He's gonna be the blackest Sandy.
Nah, you knocked it out.
They got black sand in some beaches.
That is a fact. Puerto Rico, right?
I never been. You been to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, I have. It's nice. Actually, one of the guests that's on this season said she's actually gonna go do a conference in Puerto Rico, be one of the media people. So hey, maybe Puerto Rico's the place we all need to go.
Yeah, maybe.
Black sand,
Rico.
political personalities.
Oh,
hey,
Puerto Rico. It's part of the U.S. Ain't it?
It is. It's part of us. It really is. So, I'm gonna start asking you some fun questions.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go back and forth. So, who are your top 3 comics? And one of them's got to be a female, and I want to know why.
Okay. All right. My top comic has to be Eddie Murphy at the top, because that was the first stand-up that I ever watched as a kid. Was Eddie Murphy Raw, and I wasn't supposed to watch it. Mind you, this is before stand-up. I'm in church. I went to my cousin. Everybody got them bad cousins that in the neighborhood that your mom don't have no choice to leave you with. It's like all the options was gone.
I was the bad cousin.
Yeah, so I watched Raw, and we was watching and giggling and like watching this to make sure nobody was listening. And that was the first taste of comedy. And then from there, that's how I learned about Richard Pryor and got into Martin. Another comedian who's one of my top comedians is actually my dad, and he's not a comedian, but he's just one of the charming, most sweet guys, and he just has the timing. And he's actually was an athlete, but I guess, you know, when God was giving out jeans, I couldn't fit them. That one, I didn't fit his jeans. But it was good, though, because I got his sense of humor. So, like, my dad is my number 2. Number 3 is actually, it's a toss between, because I have to. All right, well, you want me to pick a woman, but I have an honorable mention.
Sure.
Okay. So, Arnez J and / Martin, because there was again, it goes back to church, because that's how I started. But one time we had these watch night services, so this is on New Year's Eve.
Man,
so New Year's Eve, you in church at 12 o'clock, because I don't know if they think Jesus is going to come at midnight,
10.
like Jesus don't party. And
you started 10 though.
Yeah, it's be wild.
And maybe 9 if they got food first.
Yeah, and so they had a Def Jam marathon when we were coming home, and I got to watch this guy, Arnez J, and he was on Def Jam, and Martin was the host of it. And then you, of course, the Martin Show, and so that's mostly who I take from. And a woman comedian, and she's actually starting to build her name up, but she's one of my friends and one of the funniest women, like y'all probably going to see soon, because she's opening up for Cat Williams as we speak. Her name is Pretty Ricky Fontaine, and that's like my homie. Like when she started, we were on a show together in the church. It goes back to that. And she was so nervous that day, I remember, but she was so funny, because we would just sing like I love ad-libs, like of songs. Like like that's why Brandy's one of the top singers for me, because she ad-libs all the time. She's dope. But we like, you know, in the beginning of Martell Jordan's "This Is How We Do," he go sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. I was like, what is a sha-la-la-la-la? So we was singing that, and we was having such a good time before the show, and we became friends after that. And she's very talented. She's like the female Jamie Foxx. Like she sings, does it all. And like she's gonna be the next one you're gonna see, I promise you.
That was the first. Jamie Foxx was actually the first stand-up I ever saw.
That was dope too.
In like the 90s. His stand-up.
Our mutual friend Nigel, that's his favorite, one of his favorites.
Nigel, yeah. Jamie Foxx, yeah. Oh my God.
He used to think he sounded like Jamie Foxx. I was like, man, you do not sound like nor look like Jamie Foxx.
Nothing Jamie Foxx there. I mean, he's black.
He's like more like Jamie Wolf. Like.
I'm actually on an episode of Nigel's show, the Murphy
Mondays.
Yeah,
I'm on a few
about
of those.
Boomerang. Yeah, I
bet.
You
did? Just recently?
Yeah, we shot maybe like just before he got married.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, just before the wedding, the week before.
Yeah, I got to do all the other movies.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
You got to do all the other movies.
All the movies that we forgot. Yeah.
Nah, it was dope. We talked about He talked about powerful women in industry and,
That's
and how
dope.
Boomerang highlights that and Boomerang highlights marketing. It was actually brilliant. I
Yes.
learned so much, but I also was like in there. It was my favorite.
Yeah, that was like the first rom-com, and a lot of people don't give it credit.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Oh man, so we're gonna shout out Nigel. Check out the Murphy
shout
Monday
out.
podcast.
That's the dude.
He's a friend of the show.
Yep, definitely.
So what does success look like to you as a comic? Hey everyone, it's your girl Sam Law of the That Sam Law Show, and I want to introduce you to our season 2 sponsor, Nadine Morency Moss of J Moore Realty. Nadine, tell my audience about yourself.
Hi, my name is Nadine Morency Moss. I'm a real estate broker, founder of J Moore Realty since 2012, and I service Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and now Suffolk. So, and sometimes the city. And that's Nadine.
All right, if you want to get to know Nadine more, just follow her on Instagram or hit her up on her website.
I'm still trying to find it. I don't feel like I got there yet. I've gotten some really great things that happened this year, but I'm on the path for it. Success for me would feel like tours, my own show. Usually it was the package that all the top comedians got back in the day, like Seinfeld and Kevin Hart had a show, Dave Chappelle even had a show. I mean, you know, they may not have done well, but they've had shows.
Right.
So that's my goal. I feel like, because that was the reason why I did comedy in the first place. I wanted to be the next Keenan when Keenan was on all that.
Right.
Like, that's how much, like, I dreamed for this. So, like, I feel like success would be just to make money doing what we're doing, but make enough so that I could just do this.
You can
Like,
survive.
yeah, because
no, not just survive, thrive.
no, thrive.
Yeah.
Like to really like be like, you know what, I got this. Like to be able to donate to help put people on. You know, but you need money for that, and so that's why I feel like that's the only thing that's keeping me from success. But in life, I'm successful. I'm a father. I'm a husband. Got all my teeth. I don't smoke crack. I don't,
Talk about
you
it.
gotta think the little things.
You gotta check them off.
I don't got
Check your-
I don't got the Bobby Browns. I
Hey.
don't got the Bobby Browns.
Hey.
And shout out to Bobby Brown though, but you know you smoke crack. But I hope I don't get in trouble from that. Come in there. You say I'm crazy. I want to be in my y'all.
I'm a huge New Edition fan.
I am too. That's why I talk about
man,
Bobby Brown
listen.
to you.
So, speaking of which, how do you know, Bobby Brown had kind of like a tough like life kind of, and I'm sure he dealt with one of these. How do you deal with a heckler at a show? Like, how have you handled that?
I don't get many of them.
Oh, that's good.
But it's because my show is so inclusive anyway that you just look stupid calling out. And it's not like, if you want attention, I'm going to give it to you. But you just got to be prepared for the attention. You know, most comedians would be like, look at this, your face. And I don't do all that. But like, if you want to be included, I'm going to make you a punchline, but it's just but in a good way.
So you're not going to get punched, but you will be a punchline.
Yeah, because ain't nothing funny in the parking lot. So I don't know who got
right?
Because like I'll be looking at, one thing I do in the audience, I look who got the ears, the potato chip ears. Because you don't know, that means they know MMA. I don't want the potato chips. They got their ears look like kettle cooked potato chips. Don't mess with them. They gonna yoke you all up. You be like this is.
And the short people too be like, short people be nuts.
Yeah,
I'm short people. We're nuts.
Yeah,
we fight to the death.
I know y'all do because y'all gotta fight uphill battles all the time. Shoot, I ain't that. I'm like 2 inches above Kevin Hart in a minute. Like I'm 2 inches from swinging my legs in a minute. That's
Yo, that's funny. You swing your leg swing when you sit on the curb. I don't mind you.
Like, I ain't that short when you do backflips in the cabinet. But
I'm little. So how do you feel about comedy? We're in like a hypersensitive world right now, and people get offended easily. You know, when we were growing up, we got offended, but I don't think we get as offended as we do now. And a lot of times it's rightfully so.
Yeah.
How do you feel about cancel culture in comedy?
I don't like it because it's like, if you look back at the stuff that we used to listen to, everybody was fair game. It's all in fun, especially in comedy. Like, you can't get tough skin. And I know, like, there's a lot of people, first of all, there's a lot of comedians now that call themselves comedians that aren't necessarily like as far, and I won't say like they are meaning like, oh, I know what comedy is, but it's sometimes they kind of lose the art of like certain things. So like they really go in a malice state, like where they're not really making, like they're not making fun like in a nice way. They like, you know, like trying to like, and that's where I can see that can be taken the wrong way. But you shouldn't censor comedy. It's freedom of speech. You shouldn't censor anybody, honestly. Like if you have tough skin, then I mean, put some lotion on. I don't know. Like you can't like I've been called some crazy stuff, and like not even necessarily derogatory. It's just like you gotta have tough skin, especially in comedy, because that's how you grow. Because like you won't, like you gotta be able to freely express yourself. Because like I talk about everything. Like just even that Spider-Man joke couldn't rub people the wrong way. But the thing is too, people read your intentions. People read the type of person you are, and I feel like if I show my genuine personality, people know that where it's coming from. And I'm glad and thankful that I'm able to spin it in a way where it's not coming across in a negative light, but it's still getting a point across though. Yeah.
All right, so we're down to our last question. Our last two.
Okay, two. Let me get it.
I feel like we kind of already answered this, but you might have a different answer than what I suspect.
Okay.
If you could be an Avenger, who would it be and why?
I don't want to be gay. No, I'm joking.
So it's not Spidey.
I don't know.
Sassy Spider-Man. Ounce.
Yeah, I'm about to put that on the shirt.
How does web slingers go?
Ounce. That's what I saw with it. Ounce. Oh, thank you for the soup, Mr. Stock. Ounce. Dang, I can't think of. I don't know. I probably want to be Ant-Man.
Really?
I don't know why that just came to mind. Maybe the movie coming out. I don't know.
It is.
Oh, that's probably why.
It looks dope. Everybody's getting sucked into the quantum realm.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to go in the quantum realm. Sometimes I want to get out of this reality. I just want to be able to, because sometimes I'll be meditating. I'll just be want to just get, and sometimes I just want to just get big. I want to play basketball. I'm tired of going on the court.
And they don't choose you first?
Nah, or they, like, you be at, like, export, and they be like, nah, son, and they call you big man, and I ain't that big. I'm short, but I'm like fat, so they don't know what to tell me, so they just call me big man. I just want to be Ant-Man. I could just be big, and then I could be small when I want to leave or go to the bank, you know. All right, never mind. I probably can't save the world, yeah.
Nah, I like that. Ant-Man, okay.
Ant-Man, yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's dope, too.
That's right. Yeah. Great comic.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so I would probably be Scott Lang. He got the girl, got the shorty, got the kids, got the life. You know what I'm saying? He's ex-con though, but still, he didn't get blipped.
He did not. Mm-hmm. He did not get blipped because he was in the quantum realm, right? Yeah. And then you got Judd Apatow. He's like, did I say his name right? Judd Apatow. He's like he goes way back to Freaks and Geeks. Like he's been around.
Yeah, and like, because Thanos messed everybody up.
He did.
Because Thanos snapped him. All my shows disappeared before the pandemic. That's why I was
like, talk about it. Man, yo, I never put that together.
He snapped this.
The Thanos
people was crying
Thanos caused the pandemic. That makes a lot of sense.
I was opening up for Kenan Thompson, and the joint snapped, and then it was like, nope.
Thanos, pandemic. Listen, Eternals, any of you still around?
That's why Tony Stark is the man. Shout out
Rest
to Tony.
Peace. So, what's next for you?
The Sky.
Hey, sky's the limit.
Well, Sky actually was on your show one time.
Oh, she was.
Yes, she was. But that's not the limit. Sorry to my wife. That's not who I was talking about. But no, I was talking about like the actual Sky. That's the limit. Like the Biggie was talking about. And actually, I don't want that either because that's shortly after that. All right, look. Okay. All right, so now we got some opportunities in the works. I want to be on the big screen. That's something that I haven't done. I did a couple of independent films. One actually might be coming out later this year called Boo Boo the Fool by Nakia Thompson.
I like that title.
Nakia Hamilton, sorry.
Who you think I am? That's what your mother asked you. Boo Boo the Fool,
Boo
right?
Boo the Fool, yeah. And it's one of them late night movies that you will watch like when you don't got nothing to watch, like on Tubi or Amazon Prime.
Tubi over here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That free programming, and it's about a girl who pees in the bed, and she tried not to let her boyfriend know that she peed in the bed. And so I play an exorcist that's trying to, I don't know what she thought by calling me, but I'm trying to rebuke the demon that smelled of piss. And
yikes.
And so like they just let me go off on that. So it's actually a pretty funny joint. So hopefully I can get y'all a clip later on once it gets closer to the premiere. But
Okay.
it was definitely fun recording that, and it was a good movie. But also earlier this year and at the end of last year, I got to open up for Tracy Morgan, and he gave me some good jewels on how to to go my next step. So he actually helped me a lot. And I remember when we talked that you wanted to hear the story about Tracy Morgan if we have time.
Yeah, you got like a minute or two. Go ahead, tell me about it.
All right, so Tracy Morgan, I don't know if y'all ever seen Tracy Morgan in person, but he's like he's very jovial, but he's very intense when you in his presence. And like he takes comedy very seriously. And so I got to go backstage, do a guy that opened for him, and one of the comics got COVID, Pat Brown. Shout out to Pat Brown. And and so he's sitting there like it seemed like a scene from The Godfather, and he was sitting there. And he had like this turtleneck on, and his waves were spinning. If y'all know Tracy Morgan, his waves were spinning, but it's spinning the opposite way. Like you normally you have waves this way, but he's spinning them this way. I don't know how he did that. Like I think he combed it with a rake or threw a rock across it. I don't know, but he was like looking at me, and he was like, "You a comedian?"
That's exactly how he is. Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "Yeah." I don't know. We cuss on this? I don't know.
No, don't curse.
Oh, okay. Well, he called me an N-word, but he was like, "You funny?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How would you like to open up for Tracy Morgan?" I said, "I would love it." He was like, "You scared?" I was like, "No, I ain't scared." I was scared, y'all. I was scared, but I didn't want to let him know. I didn't want to miss my opportunity. I didn't want to do an 8 Mile, so I did it. I got to do the show. It was at Governor's in Levittown,
okay.
And it was good. And he gave me some great advice. He was like myself. I came in the backstage. He was like, "Man, you did a great set. Like, people like you. But one advice I got you, and it changed my life, this advice that he gave me. He just said, stop holding the mic stand." But he did an expletive, and I didn't realize I did that. So, so thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much. And I don't hold the mic stand no more. As soon as I get on stage, I just throw it off the stage. They just got to find it after I'm done. But yeah, but that was one of the best things that ever happened to me so far today, this year. And also shout out to Kenan Thompson for the Ultimate Kenan Thompson experience,
nice.
Comedy experience. I was able to do that show twice before the pandemic. Then when Thanos snapped, well, Tony snapped, and then that show came back, I was able to finish what I started. So, I'm almost there. The goal is SNL. So,
Listen, we're going to be watching you. We're going to be waiting. We're going to be watching. And we know we can find you on the Wu-Tang Saga, right?
Yep.
On HULU.
Season 2, episode 6.
Crashing on HBO.
Yep, season 3, episode 7 and 8.
You've been on a Credit Karma commercials.
Yeah, Credit Karma.
Get your credit straight, y'all.
Yeah,
it's important.
Yes. I'm trying, y'all.
And you're traveling the comedy circuit on the urban and mainstream stages, and we're proud of you. Long Island homegrown, right?
You know what I'm saying? New York Comedy Festival of Carolines, November. Well, I don't know when it's come out, but hopefully.
Either you might go or you're gonna.
Either way, you're gonna see it. If you see me on the news, that means it went well. So for a good thing, yeah, a good way, yeah.
Well, thank you, Fudge. Thank you for being on the That Sam Law Show. Thank you to our audience for tuning in, and thank you to our sponsors, the Bell Law Group, J Moore Realty, and Designs by Dr. G.